Nick still has a lot to learn about adding his menu to the back office database. In the last course, Professor Silver taught him about categories and items. In this course, Nick will learn about variations and modifiers.
Hi, Professor Silver. Are you going to show me how to customize my menu items now?
Yes, I am. NCR Silver Pro Restaurant allows for a lot of menu customization, including variations and modifiers. First, we will talk about variations. Variations are defined options that must be selected when selling an item. For example, you offer hamburgers with a choice of beef, turkey, or vegetarian patties. This choice is a variation because it must be selected for each burger, and only one can be used.
So, for Nick's common room, if I sell a draft beer in 3 sizes, the size would also be a variation?
Exactly. You can add up to 3 types of variations for each item.
How does that affect the sales price? A short draft of the Nick's Common Room house beer costs $4, but a tall costs $5, and a pitcher costs $12.
Great question. You can choose to sell the item for the same price regardless of the variations, or you can sell based on one of the variations. In the case of your draft beer, you would want to sell based on the variation of size.
Awesome!
To add an item that has variations, select Add Item. Complete the category and item name fields, then select the Add a Variation button. In the Item Variation dialog box, select the drop-down. Notice that there are 3 preset variations: size, color, and flavor. You can also add your own custom variations. When adding a custom variation, you'll have to name the variation category before you can add variations. After you select the variation category, you can add variations.
So if one of my variations is size, I would select size from the drop-down and then add the different sizes.
That is right. After you add the variations, you can update price. This drop-down menu contains the option to use a single price and cost for all variations, or use one of the variation groups for pricing and cost.
I will select Use Variation Size for pricing.
Exactly. Then, just type in the sales price and unit cost for each size that you created.
What are the Assign Tag buttons for?
Tags are used when creating a promotion, which you will learn about soon. For now, leave that option alone. This is how an item with variations will appear in the POS app. Now we'll talk about modifiers. Modifiers are optional selections used at the POS to give instructions about how items should be prepared. Modifiers make it easy to select options and extras when selling an item. They can be set up once and reused across items.
How are modifiers different from variations?
Great question. Variations are required selection, and modifiers are optional. Modifiers are used in restaurant settings to notify the kitchen how to prepare an order. When thinking about modifiers, keep picky eaters in mind. For example, a salad comes with a preset list of ingredients. Each of those ingredients could be a modifier, so the customer can decide if there is something to leave off the salad or something to add more of.
Oh, so I could use cheese as a modifier for my hamburgers. Customers can have their choice of cheese, or they can choose to have no cheese at all.
That is a great example, and you can choose whether to charge for those modifiers or not. To add modifiers, first you must create modifier groups. Then you can add individual modifiers under those groups.
Okay, so cheese would be the modifier group, and cheddar and Swiss would be some of the modifiers.
You got it. To create a modifier group, select the Modifiers page under Menu. Then, select Add a Modifier Group and give the group a name. You can set a minimum number of modifiers to include with the item if desired, as well as a maximum number.
I think I will set the maximum at 2. If a customer needs more cheese than that, I would want them to pay extra. I'll keep the minimum at 0, though. Some customers do not want cheese at all.
You could also use modifiers to define combo meals. A steak dinner that comes with 2 sides could be entered as a single item, steak as the menu item, and side items, such as baked potato or green beans, would be modifiers.
In that case, you would set the minimum and maximum number of modifiers at 2.
That is right. The Show Modifier Group When Item is Added option, when selected, will prompt the system to display the modifier group options when the item is entered.
That's a good idea. That way, the server could easily list all of the available types of cheese for the customer.
To add modifiers to the group, select Add Modifier. Each modifier is a menu item, so you can select the item from the drop-down menu. Or, if necessary, select the Create a New Item button to add the item to the menu. The modifier has a price associated with it because it is a menu item. Here, you can decide to sell it at a different price when it is included as a modifier.
I see. The cheeseburgers have cheese priced in, so I would not want to charge a customer extra when they order a cheeseburger. However, if someone orders a slice of cheddar on their chicken sandwich, which does not come with cheese by default, they would be charged 50 cents, the menu item price of cheddar. I'll select yes and leave the amount at $0.
Good! The final checkbox will allow you to make this the default selection whenever this modifier group is used. You can also add modifiers to a group from the Menu Categories and Items page. Every item has a checkbox that you can select to designate it as a modifier item. Then, select the Assign Modifier Groups button and select the modifier groups that you want to apply to the item. If you choose the Menu Item checkbox, you can select the Assign Modifier Groups button and assign which modifier groups should be available for this item. For example, if you created a new menu item for a burger, you could assign the cheese modifier group to it. This is how an item with modifiers will appear in the POS app. It is so simple to add variations and modifiers to your menu items with Pro Restaurant. Variations allow you to define both preset and custom options for your items, and modifiers allow you to create options that can be reused across all of the items in your menu.
Nick is well on his way to adding all of his menu items in the back office. Soon, he will be able to start using his Pro Restaurant POS to start selling items in his restaurant. Next time, he will learn how to import an existing menu database to make back office setup even easier.